So this is the live stream officially starting now. Hope everyone can hear me okay. Just in front of me there's some people lighting candles in memorial for the more than 1,200 victims now. So I think a very good turnout. And obviously for the Jewish community of Scotland and Glasgow in particular, everyone knows someone. Everyone knows someone who is caught up in the conflict. Tragically, we have lost Bernard Cowan, who is well known to us, and there are many others serving the IDF or simply living as ordinary citizens in Israel. TV cameras are here. Sorry, mate. Okay. So I see a few people have joined the live stream. Welcome. Strong supporter of Israel. Sheba Kaplan has sent a message. I stand with Israel. And that's what we're all here for tonight.
Yes, and Alex and the baby. No, they don't want to speak. Sorry.
Well done, GFI, says Sheba. Thank you very much for that. In particular, well done to John White, who organised it all. It was his idea.
I didn't have them, and so I thought we'll leave all these there.
Oh, how nice. What a lovely idea. I'm very sorry.
It's a good shot there of two people on the steps holding aloft a large Israeli flag.
Who would have thought in our time? 21st century.
You wouldn't expect any event connected with Israel to start exactly on time, so bear with us, please.
Would anybody like the words of Hatikva, the Israeli language? Yes. Oh, very nice. Vicky, thank you. Oh, hi. Hi.
David, could you gently ask anyone who gets in the way of the camera to move out the way? Sorry.
I spoke to her here and I sent her a text to say that they could watch it online. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you can't hear me.
Thank you, David. Hello there. And lots more messages. Jonathan Hill saying well done. Thank you, Jonathan. Peter Dykes is watching. Mark Dingwall, stand strong, Israel. May justice and compassion guide you. Judy Lott, Pearl Wise and Judy Lott and husband stand for Israel. The candle lighting here has been very popular. I see some more people lighting candles. Got a huge bunch of candles there. Tragically, as I said earlier, more than 1,200 people have now been murdered by terrorists.
A stain that every single person who supports Hamas's actions should be deeply ashamed of. Just the other day, on the 7th of October, the world saw more Jewish people murdered than on any single day since the Holocaust. Let that sink in. Last night, it also came to light that Hamas had went out their way to decapitate and murder babies. You heard it right, babies. And this is alongside the rape and murder of women and girls. The list goes on. And to think we actually have people trying to defend that is an absolute brass neck. We also heard the sad news of one of our own Glaswegians and a member of the Jewish community who was murdered on Saturday by Hamas. I think I can speak for everyone here today when I say to his family, we are with you, we stand alongside you, and may his memory be a blessing to us all. Now, before I move on to our speakers, I just want to say be proud. Be proud of every part of your Zionism. When you hear someone describing Zionism as being purely political, oppressive, or even racist, be proud that you know better. Be proud of the realisation of a 2,000-year-old dream to live freely in the land of Israel. Be proud that despite every challenge and every attack, the flames here tonight still burn ever more brightly. Stand tall, learn all there is to learn about the history of Israel and its people. Tell people about your Zionism, and remind them about the remarkable achievements of the State of Israel. Raise your heads and raise your voices. Scotland stands with Israel, Glasgow stands with Israel, and we stand with Israel. And on that note, I'm Yisrael High, thank you. So I'd like to introduce our first speaker is Sammy Steen. Sammy is the chair of Glasgow Friends of Israel and a committee member of the Glasgow Jewish Representative Council.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, political or not, Scottish or not, from Glasgow or Edinburgh, or from any other part of our country, Jewish or Christian or Muslim or Hindu, or of any other religion or none. If you're here tonight, your presence is what we call in Judaism a mitzvah, a righteous act. On Saturday morning, my wife Vicky woke me up and she said, "There is a war in Israel." Saturday was the last day of Sukkot. Sukkot is a festival of tabernacles. The last day of Sukkot is called Simchat Torah. Traditionally, it's a happy day. It's meant for singing, dancing, expressions of joy when Jews around the world celebrate the observance of the Torah. But that was not to be on Saturday. Instead, and since then, we have tragically witnessed what has now become the greatest catastrophe that has happened to the Jewish people since the end of the Holocaust, as John just said. Early on Saturday, southern Israel was attacked by Hamas terrorists. I say terrorists, but this word does not do them justice or to their cruelty and depravity. Even calling them savages or barbarians does not come close, because this was not an attack. It was an unopposed slaughter of whole families in their homes, a massacre of young children and babies, some who've had their heads cut off, an execution of hundreds of young people at an open-air music concert, the shooting of innocent at point-blank range, and the kidnapping of over 100 women, children, elderly, including Holocaust survivors. As we stand here to pay respect, Israel has announced there have been over 1,200 deaths and almost 3,000 wounded so far. So far, the story is not over yet. It's clear that many of the wounded are so seriously injured that before too long, many of them will be moved across to the deaths number. I believe that innocent civilians should never, ever be impacted or exposed to such conflicts. And so to avoid civilian casualties, the Israeli Defense Forces normally issues warnings to civilians in Gaza to move to safety and away from identified targets. Hamas can help Gazans by moving them out of the cities into the vast open spaces and away from the related targets, so they may not be attacked. But Hamas will not do that. Hamas will not help their fellow citizens reach safety, because Hamas wants civilians in Gaza to be killed. Hamas cares little or not at all for the Gazans. People around the world continuously criticize Israel for applying what they call collective punishment to the inhabitants of Gaza by cutting off their electricity. But why should these people expect Israel to give electricity to Gaza? Why should they give electricity to an area populated by its enemies and savages who want to kill them? It's like saying Ukraine should be giving electricity to Russia. Does that make any sense whatsoever? The question is, why in the past 10 years has Hamas not built the infrastructure to provide electricity and water and all the other things that the people in Gaza need? Because they don't want to, because they don't care. Of course, news bulletins now start off with the headlines reporting what is happening in Gaza. And people will soon forget the butchery and the slaughter and the extermination of Jewish people in Israel. Don't let them forget it. But no matter what I say, it will never be possible to bring back the citizens of Israel so savagely executed by Hamas. The world stood together against ISIS to destroy it. Hamas is the new ISIS. The world must stand together to destroy Hamas. Thank you for being here tonight and to stand up in support for Israel. Thank you.
Now we're going to hear from Dr Sandesh Gohani MSP. Sandesh is the Scottish Conservative and Unionist MSP for Glasgow, and he's also the Shadow Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming out on this cold night. My heart goes out to all of you because I think all of you know someone or know of someone that has been affected by what's happened. Let me start by saying that I was born and raised in Golders Green. I know people in Israel, I know people that are going through things the same as you do. We must never forget that these are humans. It doesn't matter that they're Jewish, they're humans that were slaughtered in a sheer act of terror. And it's not just people from Israel. People who are from all over the world have been affected. There can be no ifs, buts, or maybes. We must condemn terror, and we must condemn Hamas and the terrorists that perpetrated these quite abhorrent acts. Today, we have an opportunity to stand with the rest of the world, from Paris to Germany and across Europe. People are standing in solidarity with the people of Israel. I asked for our Scottish Parliament to raise the flag of Israel, and I feel it was a missed opportunity when the Parliament said no to doing that, because it is a shame, because it was an opportunity for us here in Scotland to join the rest of the world in condemning what happened. The last thing that I want to say is that we as people, we as humans, must never allow what happened to simply occur without standing up and saying it's wrong, and without standing up and saying that this is unacceptable. And I'm so glad that there are so many people who believe the same as I do, not just here tonight, but across Scotland and across the world. Thank you.
So now we're going to have Councillor Thomas Kerr. Thomas is the Scottish Conservative Unionist Councillor for Shettleston and the leader of the Conservative group on Glasgow City Council.
Good evening, Glasgow, and what a fantastic turnout given the short notice. I think this sends a very clear message to all those people in social media who still recklessly try and defend what has went on, that Glasgow and Scotland stands with Israel at this very moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the barbaric attacks that we have seen happen over the weekend is nothing short of an absolute disgrace. And I don't understand how anybody, and I mean anybody, can try and defend what has happened to people in Israel. It is so important, and I mean vitally important, that we send a very, very clear and unequivocal message to people in the Jewish community in Glasgow and right across Scotland, that we stand with them in solidarity, that we stand with them at their time of need, and that we stand with them right now. So thank you so much for all turning up tonight. I think this is such a fantastic turnout with such a short notice, and we do stand with Israel. Thank you.
And now we're going to have Vicky Steen, who is going to read a letter out from the Israeli Embassy.
To our dearest friends in Scotland. Sorry? Closer. It is with great sadness that you must gather today to remember. Sorry? Is that better? It is with great sadness that you must gather today to remember our dead, to demand justice for those taken captive, and to stand up for Israel's very right to exist. We are very grateful, however, that you have come out in our hour of need. Hamas's terror attack targeted our civilians in their homes. stole children from their place of safety, and brutalized the elderly. We must be unequivocal in our denunciation that Hamas is a terror organization and their barbaric actions have no justification. As you gather today, Israel is doing everything in its power to protect its citizens. The days and weeks ahead are uncertain, and we know there will be dark times to come. It is a great comfort to have your support and friendship as we navigate these difficult times. Thank you for the hand that you have extended to us. It means a great deal to know we have your support now and always. Jewish communities around the world stand together as we grieve this inconceivable loss. As we write this letter, Israel has lost over 1,000 people, and over 100 men, women, and children suffer in Hamas's captivity in Gaza. No words are sufficient. This is a tragedy that we know hits incredibly close to home, and we stand with you as we mourn the loss of Bernard Cowan. We send our deepest sympathies to Bernard's family and all in Glasgow who knew and love him. Please know that the door of the embassy is always open to you. We will prevail in this battle against evil. Am Israel Chai.
Now we're going to have a memorial prayer for all of those people murdered by Howard Brody.
שוכן במרומים, חמצי מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, מעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים. את נשמות אחינו ואחיותינו שנפלו במלחמה ואכלו לעולמה. אנא בעל הרחמים הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים. וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר
And now I'd like to invite Dory to the stage.
Hi. Before I start, I'd like to thank all of my friends, our friends and family, Jewish and not Jewish alike, that came here today to support us when we mourn the loss of our friends, families, and innocent people. I'm standing here today as an Israeli, as a Jew, but first and foremost as a human being with a beating heart. Among the hundreds of innocent civilians that were handcuffed, slaughtered, beheaded, and massacred in point blank were my relatives. Livnat and her husband Aviv, alongside their 3 children, Rotem, Iftach, and Yonatan. An entire family, and entire family slaughtered. As the grandson of Tipoa Felix, a Holocaust survivor, I'm here to say that we as human beings do not have the privilege to remain quiet. We do not have the privilege to remain quiet as human beings when we see innocent kids being slaughtered in point blank, being beheaded. We do not have the privilege to remain quiet today when we see our daughters being raped in order to be polluted, as they say. I'm done being ashamed of who I am. I'm done being ashamed of my identity as a Jew, as an Israeli. I'm done. It's the people who support the barbaric attacks made by Hamas who should be ashamed, who should stay low, who should remain quiet. Not me, not us, and not anyone from our community. I'm here to say that never again is now. It is right this second. It is happening right now. Silence today is complacency tomorrow. As one last thing, I would also like to send my regards and best wishes to a good friend of mine and ours, another member of the Glasgow Jewish community, Adam Flint, who's right now being called to reserve and is protecting with his own body on our kids, on our families, and on our friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So I'd just like to, we're kind of close to wrapping up. I just want to say thank you again to everybody for coming. Thank you to the police for having a presence here tonight, just to make sure we're on the safe side. Thank you to the media, who hopefully will cover it and refer to Hamas as terrorists. And I'd like to invite Vicky just to say a few thanks as well.
Well, my thanks are actually for John White. This vigil was his initiative, and he organised it in such a short space of time, working tirelessly to promote and arrange every detail. And it's been my privilege to help him in any way that I could. We first met John when he came to our Glasgow Friends of Israel stall when he was 15 years old and had heard about the conflict at school and wanted to learn more about Israel. John has been a steadfast friend of Israel and of the Glasgow Jewish community and a proud Zionist since then. And we are proud to call this fine young man our friend.